Hey everybody, you've probably seen these solar fountains that you use in bird baths and different types of water features and wondered maybe, do these work and how well do they work? Well, I'm going to demonstrate one today just to give you a better idea of exactly how well they work. I've had this one for actually 2 years and I've been very happy with it. I'm just going to show a couple things on it real quick. When you pick them up, there's a lot of different companies that make these. You can notice the thickness of them. And you also notice kind of on the back, the way they're made, there's a filter on the bottom side of it. The key with these is if you're going to use them, make sure every now and then take them out of your water feature and blow on this filter and make sure it's nice and clean. Mine even has a little bit of debris in it right now, you might be able to see. But for the most part, it's pretty clean. As long as you remember to do that, these things really work great. Now I'm going to show you, when you put it in the bird bath, what happens. You sit it in and right away it starts bubbling. Now when you buy these, they come with some different attachment pieces that you can use to give you a different type of water effect. And I'm just going to kind of show some of these here in my hand. And I'm going to put them on and we're going to demonstrate the differences that they make when you apply them. What you're seeing right here, if you're worried about wind blowing your water out of your bird bath, this is actually a pretty good setup to go with. Where the water is bubbling, but it's not blowing high enough to where the wind is going to be able to knock it out of the bird bath. That's one way you can set these up. If you come in closer, you can put on this extension piece, and when you put it on, it basically does the same thing, just gives you a little bit more height. Then you've got these various caps that you can add on to it. So it's very customizable. You can take this piece now and you can add another piece to the top, and it's going to create. Now I'll show you. As it moves around and the sun hits it at different angles, you might notice this, and you'll notice the taller I make this, the harder it is for it to work. If I pick it up, take it out, let it clear a little bit, and then sit it back in, it's probably going to work just fine. But you'll see a lot of the reviews and a lot of the different feedback people say on these fountains is it doesn't work very well. If you've got really strong sunlight, this feature is probably going to work. If you're having problems with it like I am on mine, I would take all this height and these extensions off and go back to using the fountain without the extensions. And again, remember, even though you're using it this way, you can take this extension piece off and say, okay, well, since it didn't work before being tall, let me just try and add this piece instead without the extension. And it works perfectly fine. You've got these little caps that also come with it, where you can create more of, that higher water effect. I'm going to put one of those on and we're going to see what kind of difference it makes. Snaps on just like that. Now you put it in, all of a sudden you've got a higher water effect. And there's different ones on here. This next one I'm going to put on has more holes in it, so it should create an even bigger waterfall effect. Just pop that one off. Take the other one, pop it on. There's just certain ones of these pieces that don't work as well as others, but that's not to say that if you don't play with it, you can't find one of them that's going to work for the bird bath that you're using or for the sun exposure that you're using. And you can tell this thing is kind of coming on and off on its own. It's because of the intensity of the sun. As the sun gets stronger, it seems to work fine. So there's another option. The last one that I'm going to put on has less holes in it. In fact, I'm going to sit these down to make sure we're not seeing the same one over and over again. So I'm going to put that one up. I'm going to go to a different one. There's that one. I'm going to take it off. And I'm going to go to the third one. Make sure it's on there nice and tight. But you get the idea. For the most part, they all work pretty well as long as you have sunlight. And again, it's not very windy today. So this is going to work fine. But as the wind blows, Normally these types of attachments I don't use in my bird bath because the wind will blow it straight out of the bird bath. So just know you've always got that option to just take this off and not use those caps at all and go with this effect if you want to, or if you're in a situation where you've got a lot of wind. The other thing too, probably my biggest complaint with these fountains is you notice as the day goes on, a lot of times they float and they don't stay in the center. I've actually got another video that I've done that shows what I think is a better way to keep that fountain centered if you'd like to. So be sure I'll link to that in this video. So just to summarize, do these solar bird bath fountains work? In my opinion, they work great. As long as you go in understanding that all these fun attachment pieces that come with them might not work for your situation. If you don't have a nice deep water feature and just a great overhead amount of sun throughout the day, a lot of times these aren't going to be that good of an option. They might be, they might not be. In my situation, I normally just go with the solar fountain in my bird bath with no tops on it, no accessories, and with that setup, I've got success pretty much all day long as the sun is out. All I do is every now and then take them out, take it to a water faucet or water hose and just hose it down real good, make sure that filter on the bottom side is nice and clean, maybe wipe off the top if it's dirty, and that's basically it. Pretty low maintenance, and they work great. So hopefully this video kind of gives you a better idea of all the attachment pieces and the different effects that you can get from them, and gives you a little bit more confidence if you're thinking about purchasing one of these. If there's any other questions I can answer for you, please feel free to ask. I'd be happy to do so. If this video helped you out, I would love it if you could like it, and I'd really appreciate it if you could subscribe to my channel. Hopefully my content is interesting and beneficial to you, but I would love it if you could subscribe, and I thank you for being here, and have a great day. Take care.